So the first topic I'm going to talk about is that there's been a report put out of what movies are going to be shown during the Super Bowl. Now, I think it's already been confirmed that there's going to be a first look at Deadpool 3, which I'm really excited to see footage for that movie and see what that movie is going to be. But the report is saying right here that we're going to get looks at Inside Out 2, which I can't wait for that movie. That's another one I'm highly excited for. Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, can't wait for that movie. It does say here Warner Bros., Sony, Netflix, and Amazon are setting out the event, but Paramount Plus will be in a first look at Sonic the Hedgehog spin-off Knuckles, which I am excited for that. I haven't loved the Sonic movies so far, like I've enjoyed them, but I did love the character of Knuckles in Sonic 2. The Tiger's Apprentice, the Family Stallone, and the Chi, Halo, and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning spots are also expected, which I'm really excited for the next Mission Impossible movie, so. On the theoretical side, the trade expects previews for Quiet Place Day One. Really excited for that. If I'm really excited for that, that's that Ryan Reynolds movie. And then Bob Marley, One Love, which I don't really personally care for. It doesn't say anything about whether Universal is going to be showing anything. My guess is probably they might show something for maybe like The Fall Guy, which is a movie that I'm really excited for with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. You have Kung Fu Panda 4, which I'm really excited for that, so maybe they'll show a spot for that because that's coming out next month. But I think overall, it's a nice batch of movies to be excited about. I'm somebody that really loves the Super Bowl. I mean, I wish the Eagles was in the Super Bowl because they're my team. But even when the Eagles don't make the Super Bowl, I'm just excited to watch the Super Bowl for the TV spots. Like, I'm probably not going to be able to watch the game, but I definitely always get excited when it comes to, like, seeing the spots for movies or what's coming out this year. So I think overall it's a good batch of movies to be excited about there. The next thing I want to talk about is the news that there's a report going around that David Leitch is in talks to direct the new Jurassic Park movie that's being confirmed to come out in 2025. And when it comes to David Leitch, I'm kind of lukewarm on this news if he gets the job because he's directed like 4 movies. Like I am excited for that movie, The Fall Guy. He's directing that, but like I haven't loved anything he's done. Like he did Deadpool 2, which I liked, didn't love. Like I enjoyed it. He directed the Hobbs and Shaw spinoff, which I didn't like. He directed Atomic Blonde, which I didn't like, and I believe he directed something else, and I'm like drawing a blank on. This was some other because he's known for like directing a lot of action movies. And there was one other movie that he directed. Oh, Bullet Train. He directed Bullet Train, which I like that movie. So far, his filmography so far, like I haven't been like that's been a movie he's made where I can say I loved. He's made 2 movies that I like, 2 movies I didn't like. So he's not like one of those choices if he ends up getting the job as a director for new Jurassic Park movie. He's not one of those choices that I'll be like over the moon excited to see direct a Jurassic Park movie. He's really known for action movies, and like I said, he hasn't really done a movie that I can say I love. Like he's done 2 movies that I liked, but it's not like the most exciting choice if he ends up being a director for new Jurassic Park movie. Now, the part of the report that I'm really excited about is that they're getting a writer who right now is paying the script for it is the writer of the original Jurassic Park movie in Lost World, because I love the original Jurassic Park movie. That's the only one I consider to be great in the franchise. When it comes to Lost World, that movie was fine. That's the one side there where it's like I'm excited because he directed the original Jurassic Park movie. I mean, he wrote the original Jurassic Park movie, but this writer also wrote Lost World. Was like I enjoyed Lost World, but it was a step down quality wise, like writing wise from the first movie. So, but he did write the original Jurassic Park movie, so that's the part that makes me excited. And obviously, from what I said last time about this movie when it was announced, they like said in the previous report that's gonna be a whole new cast, new characters, and I just hope whoever ends up directing this new Jurassic Park movie But I mean, Jurassic World or Jurassic Park, basically a new Jurassic movie. I hope they just bring something different, like go back to like a grounded basic approach. Like give me like a good story with compelling characters, because that's what made the original great. And like I said, I didn't think all the sequels were bad, but none of the sequels, in my opinion, were as good as that original movie quality wise. Like none of them were great except for the original. So I really hope they have a really good idea story wise, and give us just some compelling characters too. But when it comes to the reports of David Leitch being in talks to direct the new movie, when it comes to him as a choice, he's not like a choice I would be like over the moon excited about. Like I don't think he's a bad choice either, but it's not like one of those. He's not like one of those directors right now that's like one of my top favorite directors. Next thing I want to talk about is there was a trailer put out for the new Winnie and Pooh Blood and Honey 2, and I'll be honest, I thought the trailer was crap. I mean, I will say one thing about this sequel is that from what I heard, they have a bigger budget with this movie, and the one thing I'll say about this trailer is that Winnie and all the characters look better in this movie. Instead of looking like it's a guy in a suit wearing a mask or something like in the original movie, I actually do like the look of Winnie in this movie. Like it looks more scary, and it actually looks more like an animal and less like a person wearing a mask. So that's the one thing I'll say about the trailer. Winnie looks better, but I still think the trailer just looks bad from like story wise, the characters, the acting. So personally, I'm not really excited for this. I'm actually like over this whole like taking these characters that enter public domain and turn them into slasher horror characters. Only because so far to me the three movies I've seen, they've all been basically like, I think there's meant to be. There's a Winnie and Pooh Blood and Honey movie. There's the Mean one. Just two. Actually, no, just two movies, but they pretty much have felt like low budget, cheaply made horror movies with like bad acting and terrible characters. So I just like the trailer just doesn't really get me excited personally. Like the only that like I was curious about the first one because the idea, but I just the trailer did nothing for me when it comes to the sequel. So I can't say I'm excited for this movie personally. The last thing I want to talk about is that there was a teaser put out for Sonic 3. Now it's just a logo, but the interesting part about this teaser is that you hear a laugh at the end. And people were pointing out that it sounds like a Jim Carrey laugh, and it does sound like Jim Carrey's laugh when you watch the teaser. Like otherwise, the teaser doesn't show any footage; it's just the logo. But I'm gonna say something controversial here. I've never been that big on Jim Carrey as Robotnik. I feel like in those Sonic movies, it feels like they just let Jim Carrey do whatever he wants in those movies, and he's just acting like Jim Carrey. Like it feels more him like acting like a characteristic, like a cartoon character. And I know Robotic is like a goofy character when you go back like and watch some of the Sonic animated stuff, but it just to me it doesn't feel like the character. It feels more like Jim Carrey just acting like Jim Carrey. And just personally for me, I'm kind of like tired of Jim Carrey like doing these over top goofy roles. And like I said, it just doesn't feel like it's him playing a character in the Sonic movies. It just feels like it's Jim Carrey acting like Jim Carrey. Like they were like, just do whatever you want. Like it reminds me of like him and Batman Forever as Riddler, where it was just him like acting more like himself and less feeling like he's actually playing a character. That's just personally me. I know a lot of people loved him in the Sonic movies, and look, I think he was one of my favorite comedy actors. Like I love a lot of his older stuff. It's just I'm in the minority of this where I just personally feel like I would have preferred if they got an actor that can feel like they're actually playing a character instead of getting an actor who just kind of like acts like himself when pretty much well acts like the same he does in most of his like older roles back then. But I mean, the thing that makes this big though is the fact that obviously Jim Carrey said he was going to be done acting at Sonic 2. Now, like I said, you hear a laugh that sounds like him, so they don't show him. So it might not even be Jim Carrey's Chewbacca character. And I will say this: at the end of Sonic 2, I think they said they never found his body. So you know you could they left it open where you could bring his character back. And obviously he's Sonic's main bad guy in games and cartoons and all that. So I never like I never like felt like they were going to kill off his character. Like I never felt like he died at the end of Sonic 2. But I can see this being exciting news for people who love them in the role. And I'll say this, like I talked about the Super Bowl report earlier about the Knuckles spinoff. When it comes to the Knuckles TV show spinoff, I didn't love the first two Sonic movies. I am a Sonic fan. Like the Sega Genesis. So my favorite Sega Genesis games were the Sonic games. My favorite Dreamcast game is the first Sonic Adventure game. So I am a big Sonic fan when it comes to the video games. And I remember watching the Sonic X cartoon, which I remember enjoying. But I haven't like loved the Sonic movies yet. So the thing that does make me really excited about this movie is seeing a Shadow character. Because I remember playing Sonic Adventure 2 for Dreamcast, and I remember he had kind of like he had like a tragic kind of cool backstory. So I think there's like really some like cool things and interesting things you could take the Sonic story in this one. And I hope in this one we just cut out a lot of the human stuff. That's kind of one of the things I haven't really cared for in the first two Sonic movies. Especially the second one, we had the whole side story with the wedding and all that. Like I want to see this movie just be about Sonic and his friends, with Shadow obviously being the main villain. Because Shadow's the main reason I'm excited for this movie because he's a cool character, great character, and I think he could really like elevate the story and take it some more compelling places with his character in this one. So that's all the movie news today. Until next time, movie fans.